used to seeing throughout this week, but it's just a little reminder to let everyone know that everybody is welcome, but we do ask to show respect to everybody, and in the form of making sure that we are being friendly, and making an experience that is welcoming for all. So I'm not going to read that out word for word because you're here to hear about the volunteering opportunities, and I think that's let's get on with that. So in this presentation, we're going to head to the next slide. We're going to cover the big question, why volunteer? So for many of us, this question is going to be the big question, and some of us are already volunteering. I've just seen Paresh in the chat as well saying, I'm already doing this, I'm coming to see what you've got to offer. So this is fun, this is great. We were also going to be thinking about the skills and the confidence that you can gain from volunteering. And we're also talking about career and employability benefits. Not everybody's here to boost their career and employability, but it might be interesting for you to know what volunteering can do, if you're helping a family member, or perhaps a child that's about to go off to university themselves. So we're also going to go through some myth busting of why we can't volunteer or what volunteer actually involves, to help us think about what it can actually give to us, and how to get started with us volunteering. So Kira may have mentioned, whilst I wasn't here, this session is recorded, and you've also already, to those of you who can, say hello in the chat, and I just like to let you know that if you want to use emojis and reactions, please do so, because I quite like to see how people are engaging with the conversation, and that's so that I can gather kind of what information you actually, thank you so much, what information you need and what you're enjoying. So we're going to head over to why volunteer. So we talk to our students a lot, and when I say our students, you are our students as well, and we're here to communicate with you to find out what you want to do and what matters to you. So the students that do volunteer, they give us feedback every quarter, and about their motivations for volunteering and whether they're enjoying their roles that they're actually doing. And these three key answers are telling us why people get involved. So the first one is about personal growth. So you're meeting new people and you're broadening your horizons. So you're meeting people from all across the UK and perhaps internationally as well. And because of the roles that you get involved with, you are meeting people from different backgrounds, different walks of life, completely to yourself. And so this is why we're broadening horizons, and what a lovely way to do that, to do something for other people, or for other students in our community. So that leads me on to community. They're one of the largest roles that we have, and the major offering is the student representative and the student leadership body. So they are contributing to the student voice, and the real aim is to give space to the student voice. So finding out what it is that matters to you, and then informing the processes and procedures that happen at the university to make things better. But equally, you can be a part of a society or a club, or a committee. And again, that's bringing people, students together with a similar purpose to contribute to the support of others. And the third and most common one is people say, and students say, that they give back and they feel connected and they feel a sense of belonging. So it's about enriching that experience and being a student as well. So if you can, pop one word in the chat that you would associate with volunteering, and feel free, opportunity is great, and feel free, if you just want to throw your mic on, just shout at me. So we're seeing in the chat opportunity, enrichment, that's a really nice word, supporting, and agape. Someone may have to translate that for me. Enjoyable, supporting, and we have no one shouting at me. You're very kind. You're all very kind. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you. For those of us who don't speak ancient Greek or have an awareness of that concept, thank you very much, Robin. I appreciate that. So did I pronounce it correctly? Agape, primarily refers to an ancient Greek concept of selfless, unconditional, and sacrificial love. Well, that is beautiful. I'll be taking that with me, giving back, exactly. So as you can see, we're a group of people that have just come together this morning in the last 12 minutes. Oh, thank you very much, Robin. So that my pronunciation of that Greek word was correct. And I'm learning something new about myself this morning as well, that I can pronounce that. So thank you so much. So just by popping that one word in the chat and telling me what you associate with volunteering, you're already letting me know that you are part of this community because you're thinking like a group of coming, and you're arriving at words that matter. So we're looking at community, purpose, giving back, and all of that creates connection. So already just by joining this call and joining and adding a word, you're already letting us know that you are a part of that community and you understand that view, which is brilliant. So we're going to head over to the next slide, and we are going to talk about the skills and confidence that you can gain from volunteering. So I have bullet pointed some things here: communication and teamwork, organisation and leadership, problem solving and resilience, and confidence in public speaking and decision making. But this is really something that I can bring to life by telling you about an experience that a student on this call actually has. So I understand that Nina is here with us today, but I'm not going to jump directly to Nina and put Nina on the spot. But I just wanted to highlight that we communicate with volunteers, and it's really important to us to find out what matters to you and how we can help you develop in the ways that you want to, and sometimes the ways you don't expect. So when we're looking at building skills and confidence, we actually do have a structured approach to the roles that we offer. And when we are creating roles and listing roles, we're looking at skills that you can take with you into other areas of your life. So with communication and teamwork, the majority of our roles are about being able to communicate in this online space, and you're doing that already with your studies. But in terms of building the communication skills, we're looking at different platforms that you can use to communicate with each other, and in some of the roles that we have, which I'll just talk about in a moment, you'll be looking at different platforms and different ways in which you can make meaningful connection with people. So one of our roles that we do offer is the library studies volunteer role, and Nina is one of those. And we spoke to Nina recently, and Nina has told us about how enriching that experience is. So the library studies volunteer role is one of the most popular roles that we offer, and we have just finished the recruitment for it. Why am I telling you about something where the recruitment has just closed? But I just want to share that it's one of those opportunities where you are not necessarily communicating directly with the person you are going to be supporting, but you are communicating with a team so that you can help organise an area of work so that students can benefit. So the library studies opportunity, these students are in secure environments. They're studying from secure environments means usually prison, or and these students don't have access to the internet, and this affects all students in secure environments. And so we work with these students, and they send through their request for research to people like Nina, and Nina would go off and research a research title, and hopefully if they can find what they're asking for, return it to them in a secure system. So it's a platform that you don't necessarily directly communicate with those in a secure environment, but it does mean that you are working as a collective to bring the research together to go off to those that can't access the internet and research by themselves. So we really think about roles where we can offer that those key skills, but it may not necessarily be where you're talking directly to someone. Communication doesn't have to mean that we are on a one-to-one level all of the time. So organization and leadership, I want to include this in building skills and confidence as well, because as part of volunteering, you take on a role and you start helping in that one way. And a lot of our volunteers see how their confidence grows. So as Nina in this example, Nina has taken part in student research conferences, and it's because of the confidence that Nina gained through volunteering, it has allowed them to feel that connection and build that confidence to put themselves forward to take on more things and get involved with more things. So through that, it does mean that Nina is able to support the development of decision making within the OU as well. So using that student representative voice, and being a student on that research conference and committee, it means that Nina directly impacts the way the OU is making decisions about programs and courses offered, but also how decisions are made. So that is a lot happening in what we think is quite a small role, but it just shows how volunteering can really escalate and really draw out that confidence that you may not have had when you started. So I'm going to move on to the next slide, because I'm going to talk to you a little about careers and employability. So everybody's here for different reasons, and I totally understand that not everybody wants to impress their next boss, but for those of you that might want to, we know that employers value transferable skills. So if you haven't had a role with an employer before and you're studying and you think, I would like to build my confidence and skills, volunteering is a great way to enter into the job arena if you want to do that. We're also the way we work, the way we're set up, is we are constantly working with you so that you can be involved with projects, and that means you are automatically networking with different people, not just students, and depending on which roles you're in or which projects you're involved in and committees, you could be sat with the person who actually designed your program, for instance, or perhaps the dean of your area of study. So we are constantly thinking about the careers employability aspect as well, and we do structure our programs based on the 10 competencies and key skills that the OU and Careers and Employability Service offer. And the reason why we do that is so, again, when you're working with the Careers and Employability Service and you're building your CV or your resume, it does mean that you have something already in writing which you can help transfer over. So when managers or hiring managers are looking at volunteer experience, this is a stat that has been taken from the NCVO, which is the National Commission of Volunteering Office. What percentage do you think managers would consider voluntary experience as worthy experience? And for those that I'm going to read the question out, what percentage of managers do you think consider volunteer experience in the hiring space? Is it A, 33%, B, 87%, or C, 99%? And we're just letting everybody respond in the chat. So we've got a good mixture, and I think everybody knows the answer. So we're going for B, 87%. Now, even as a hiring manager myself, as someone that's hired people before, I felt that was a very high percentage, and that just goes to show how volunteering has really evolved over the years as well. So volunteering has always been an opportunity for someone to boost their CV and resume, but 87% even surprised me. So what is really positive about this is it does help me show and demonstrate that those small tasks that we think we're putting out that we don't realize is necessary, they do actually have a really great impact on the ability to actually receive a job offer at the end. So that was a great statistic. Thank you for answering correctly, everybody. It was B. So we're heading over. Thank you. I like an emoji. So we're going to take we're going to bust the myths out of volunteering. And so I took part in, and I read some research recently from the National Volunteering in the UK research. So it's about research in the community. And one of the reasons that people say that they don't volunteer is because volunteering takes too much time. And what I found is that roles can actually be flexible, and you can volunteer for sometimes as little as 1 to 2 hours a month. And we are actually currently working with students at the moment and current volunteers to look at ways in which we can offer even more flexibility. So the world and the UK is calling for more flexibility as we move into the, a very transactional environment where we're on our phones and we want to get into things and out of things quickly, or as our family grows, we have shorter amount of time, or perhaps as financially as well, the cost of living is increased, so actually I need to work more and I don't have time as much to give for free. So what we are trying to do is help balance that out, because we do understand that it's the connection and that sense of belonging to a community that can really enrich the student experience, and also how we feel about ourselves. So that's what we're doing at the moment. We're looking at how can we be really, really flexible. And I'll tell you about a role at the end of this where you can perhaps help with this as well. So you need prior experience to volunteer. Now, in reality, that is true for lots and lots of volunteering roles, but for the roles that we create in the OU, OpenSU, we welcome everybody. So the roles are expected to be able to be started by anybody who is willing and interested and passionate. So we train and we support you. So every volunteer will be welcomed. They'll have a welcome session and there'll be an introduction. There is an explanation of what all of the roles are and what's required, including the time commitment. And you'll have a member of staff or a team that who you can contact if you need to say, actually, I need a little bit of space on volunteering at the moment, or I really want to get involved with volunteering more. Our training, we offer core training, which is we call that core training because it's training that everybody has to complete, and it's covering really key areas such as GDPR, safeguarding, accessibility, and I'm just trying the last one. I should know this off the top of my head. And we go into prevent as well. So the training that you would generally complete to start a new employment role, for instance, they call this trading safely and legally training. We offer this to volunteers so that you can feel safe in your roles when you start them. So Nina has also popped in the chat that the training is really good and specific to each volunteer role, which is correct. So we also create training which is bespoke for each individual role. So those of you who want to know, is that going to be online, in person? Am I going to have to sign up for things. What we do is we try at the very beginning when you're applying for the role is we will tell you exactly what the commitment is required and when, so that you can decide whether this is something for you. And then ongoing support. So it's very easy to say we support you, but I met with some students yesterday at the societies fair, and we had some really great feedback there about the support that they received. And it wasn't necessarily the one-to-one support that they're talking about, but it was about the fact that we helped them see that they are contributing to something bigger than themselves, just through keeping them involved, explaining what their role does. And these are people that have no experience. So we are here. In the reality of it, we welcome everybody. The next myth we're going to bust, thank you. Volunteering is about being selfless all the time. I've worked with volunteers for many, many moons, and there used to be a very crude mechanism of defining why a volunteer would volunteer in other organizations that I've worked in. And volunteers must be selfless all of the time, and they do it because they care about the community and they want to give something back, which is actually true. But then there's also this other side where we're allowed to be a little bit selfish, and we can say, actually, this role, if I do this will bring personal growth, this will help me with my confidence, and actually this might help me with getting a job later on if that's what I want to do, or go on to study further, or work with people. Or so volunteering isn't about completely being selfless all of the time, and actually it is a service that you can use to help you develop in the ways that you want to. And I'm absolutely open to conversations as well with volunteers to see how we might do that. If we're not currently doing it, you can come directly to me. We do really recognize that everyone is different. Everybody's here for a different reason. And I think that's what makes everything so interesting, because we all at heart do have one thing that we are passionate about, and that's the student community. And only people that don't have commitments volunteer. So when I imagine myself volunteering, when I take myself back to when I was at university and I was studying an intense 2-year degree, fast tracking it because I wanted to get to the job market quicker, and I was working 3 days a week as well. And I was thinking, I at that point I was thinking, I can't really volunteer, because people who volunteer have got loads of time on their hands. They're retired, or they have grandchildren. That's not me. But actually I found this space and this world where volunteers are everybody. Volunteers can be anybody. So what I'm trying to say here is that we're not putting you in a box, and there are no boxes. So when you are looking at volunteer opportunities, we're looking at what you can offer and ways that we can attract everybody. So different personalities, different backgrounds, different strengths. And the point is, we are all different, and that's what makes us what we are. Yeah. And I'm just going to read out in the chat just so that we can have a little bit of conversation. Nicola has said the staff are absolutely amazing at supporting volunteers. Thank you, Nicola. I really appreciate that. And Nina has said, as library study volunteers, we do get access to feedback from some of the students we support, and that is anonymous. And that is really rewarding when you can support people who are marginalised and for whom access to higher education can make a huge difference in their lives. Thank you, Nina. I'm just going to let you sit with that for a minute. That's really lovely. And then Siobhan, I really hope to volunteer at the end of my second year for a bit. I'll be doing the business admin diploma. Hopefully that would help give me confidence to volunteer. And that's awesome that you are also looking forward to volunteering. And if you want to talk to me, Siobhan, about how we can help you with that confidence to get involved with volunteering, please do contact me. I'm more than happy to talk to you about how we can do that. And I'm just looking at help give you the confidence to volunteer. Volunteering is open to everybody at any skill level. So it's about just giving it a try, and we'll be here to help you do that. I'm going to head over to the next slide. So this is volunteering at OpenSU. Now there's a lot of text on here. What does it mean? So what we're showing you here is a little graphic about how we are structured at the OpenSU. And you can see that volunteers and representatives, what that means is student representatives, they're at the heart of the OpenSU. So essentially everything that we do for the students. So what the students give, it goes in and it goes back out. So volunteers are literally at the heart of what we do, and we work with the university to make sure that students are at the heart of the decision making, and that can be through structured ways such as the student representative role, but also roles that include like projects and things like that. So we are here to make sure that we're offering something that makes sure that we can be inclusive, and we can create a community which can make you feel like you belong, because you do, and that's a really fun part of my job. So what I am here to do, and I'm really passionate about, is providing a good quality service which makes your experience the best. And if anyone has read any articles lately that we've put out, you'll see again from Nina, it is the best. Volunteering is the best. We're going to head over to the next slide. So whenever you join an organisation, a volunteering organisation, they usually let you know about the volunteer agreement. And the volunteering agreement is, I say usually because many organisations do it differently, but it should say, this is what we're here to do for you as a volunteer. This is what we can offer to you. And so we also have the other side of the volunteer agreement is what we ask of volunteers, because you're joining a community, so coming together, and we want to make sure that when we are working together in that volunteering space, we are treating each other with respect, and that includes online. So I don't need to go through about how we demonstrate that to each other, because this is something that we also can learn from volunteering as well. So when we are volunteering as students, you're joining a community, and again, you become part of something where you are representative of the OpenSU. So you again are to think about how you conduct yourself, and we ask you to think about that when you become a volunteer as well, to make sure that is something that you really want to do. We act responsibly with regards to health and safety, so we ensure that every role that we offer will keep you safe, and where there are any risks, we are required to do a risk assessment of those roles, and so we can keep you abreast of any ways that we have tried to mitigate those risks as well, because we are really concerned, and it's really our duty to make sure you are safe in your roles as well. And we are committed to equality, diversity and inclusion, and we demonstrate that commitment as well with our volunteers through offering training, ongoing training or self-directed training. And the training that we have at them, we've just introduced at the moment, is about accessibility for volunteers, and that's making the community more inclusive, so you can understand how you might want to present your ideas in an inclusive way, or you might want to create a space which welcomes even more people than before. So we support you with that, and we have seen great numbers of people taking that optional training on as well, which is really, really positive for EDI. We're going to head to the next slide. I'm really enjoying the thumbs up. Thank you so much. What can you expect from us, or what you can expect from us? So I've mentioned the training and developing new skills. So that is one part of the offering, but we'll also make sure that the things that you do and you get involved with, they're actually they bring real benefit to you, and also they're meaningful. Now we do have some volunteers in this this room at the moment, and I know that if you were to ask them about the volunteering activities they get involved with, they will always tell you it was so meaningful. And so when we are putting things together and roles together, activities together, it is constructed in a way that we want to offer you the opportunity to build your skills and confidence, build that community, but also make sure that it does actually feel good for you to continue doing it as well. And we do check in with you. We check in with you quarterly, and there's also a space for you to say, give us honest feedback about your role. And I think that's really important, that we continue to listen to your views, and that's how we build those roles. And most importantly, we acknowledge you, we say thank you, and we can't always say thank you in the most elaborate ways. We can't send you off on cruises or anything like that, but we can acknowledge your individual impact, and that's huge as a collective. And Siobhan has also popped in the chat, can we take training without doing any volunteering? So say, as I said, I want to aim to volunteer later on my degree. Could I start my training any time? So this, at the moment, the core training is for volunteers. And so that's a platform that is available to those who are going to be joining volunteering. But it is a really interesting idea to have that available so that you could perhaps be prepared later on to join in volunteering. I'll have a think about that, but at the moment that isn't something that is available. But I'm going to have a think about that. Thank you, Siobhan, for that idea. Nina has also come back and said we do get recognition for what we do, even though that isn't the primary reason for volunteering. It's no, we're all completely selfless. No, I know. No, Nina, you're right. There is recognition, but again, you're doing it because yeah, because it is contributing to the bigger picture. And then we're going to head to the next slide. So I have broken the roles down into just these basic headings, but we do have lots more roles within these areas. So student voice and leadership makes up the majority of our roles, and these roles are offered biannually. So they're student representative voice and SLT, so student leadership team, and these can be, you can apply or be elected to these roles. So all of the information about these roles are available on our website under the catalogue, but I'm just giving you these headlines just so that you can just see the diversity of the roles that are available. We also have the environment and sustainability volunteers, and I also put, as well as hedgehogs, and you'll see a beautiful picture there of our volunteers holding hedgehogs. And so the environment and sustainability volunteers initially came on board to join a committee to help drive decision making about the future of sustainability with the OU. And from this, we're also seeing extra roles such as hedgehogs on friendly campus volunteers, so where students are helping create nurturing environments for hedgehogs on campus. So it's a mixture of online and in person. But again, I'm just giving you a flavour of what's available. And the environment and sustainability role will be advertised very, very soon. And again, on the catalogue, we post when they're available. The library study volunteer recruitment, that is one of our most popular roles. I've talked about that a little bit. That role has just closed. So if you want to learn more about it, please have a read. But I want to take you through the event and meetup hosts and the student support groups and clubs and committees. Now, these are available the student support groups, clubs and committees, they're available for you to join at any point. They're not necessarily official volunteer roles, but they're there, a community space for you to get involved with, find out what it is you're interested in, and perhaps later on becoming volunteers as well. So you'll see at the bottom there are 337 individual roles, and there are 216 volunteers that were taking part as of August, and that actually has increased now. We're about 245. So that's kind of the makeup of the roles at the moment. That was a whistle-stop tour, but I do want you to have a look at the opportunities on our website so you can have a little look for yourself. We're going to go to the next slide, as I realise also we are heading towards time. So thank you. So Nina, I've already spoken about Nina. Nina is currently studying BSc Early Childhood Studies and is a student representative, a library study volunteer and a graduation store volunteer. We asked Nina to tell us a little bit more about her experience and how volunteering has helped her. Now, volunteering has helped me feel much more connected with Open University. Sometimes distance learning can be quite isolated and lonely, and being involved and having connections with others has been fabulous in terms of feeling part of the community. We do actually have a full story that has just been published, and we also send out a newsletter which includes our volunteering stories, and I'll leave some information at the end as to how you can sign up for that. By submitting a volunteering story as well, you are communicating to the entire student community why it's good to volunteer and what it can do for you. So in this instance, Nina has been really open with us and said it's giving that feeling of community and that sense of belonging, and we're hoping. And Nina's just let me know in the chat, don't forget graduation store volunteer roles. They're really good to meet other students and to see the final outcome of all your hard work, e.g. graduating. So I'm just going to thank you, Nina. So just to wrap this up, volunteering stories are really helpful to help with representation as well, to help people who are like you volunteer as well. So we need to see those that like ourselves that are volunteering to help people think, yeah, actually I can do that too. So this is really important that we hear from our students. We're going to go to the next slide. How do you get started with volunteering? So this is a list, and you will be able to see these slides after, and there are links in here, and you will have the recording as well. But this is just to explain, to become a volunteer, it's quite quick and it's quite easy, but again, there's no time pressure on having to do it. You can go onto the website and you create a profile. So that profile is just letting us know I'm interested in volunteering. So that will involve your name and when you're likely to end your studies. And you will then, once you're registered with a profile, that's when you can have a look at roles that are available, and that's when you can apply as well. So each application form will ask you very similar questions, why you want to volunteer, whereas some roles will need more information, much like the graduation store volunteer. It will ask you for your specific measurements, so have a tape measure ready for gowns and caps and things like that. To apply, you'll be browsing for the opportunities, and you will be completing that application form all online. But if you do need an accessible version, you can ask us for that as well. We can help you with that. When you are selected, we let you know. We also let you know if there is a reason for any delays, but we also make sure that when you are joining, whatever role you're joining, you're given a checklist to help you get set up as well. So we don't just leave you in the abyss. We make sure that you know what you're doing before you start. Everybody has a welcome session, and you meet the person or the team that will be supporting you. And most importantly, you'll meet your fellow volunteers. Unless you're in a role where it's just one role on your own, you won't necessarily meet people directly that you'll be volunteering with, but we will explain how the wider community, how you can get involved with the wider community. Finally, the core volunteer training and role specific training. I have gone through this in quite a lot of depth, I think, but all volunteers are supported to complete training, and again, we help with any accessible versions of that as well. So the point is we want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to get involved. And I'm just going to head to this last slide. We have a new role coming. You should be able to apply for this next week. The volunteering change maker. This role is open to anybody who has not volunteered before with the Open SU. You must absolutely have no experience at all. We don't want any experience of volunteering at the Open SU. Haven't volunteered before? Excellent. Please help. Yes, no experience. Yes. We want you to help us design the future of volunteering. And so we want to attract, we want to engage, and we want to support students just like you. So why would you do this? It's completely flexible, it's completely online, and there'll be a rota of meetings that you can sign up to, and they are just to be open during the working day, which is usually a 9 to 5, but we do recognise that not everybody can do that, so we'll look at what involvement you can give. We want you to bring yourself. All backgrounds are welcome, and we really embrace all diversity. The role description will be coming soon, hopefully next week. We're just finalising the details, but if you want to hear more about this role, you can sign up to on your profile, and you can let us know if you want to receive notifications about a new role coming. This volunteering changemaker role is actually going to be fundamental to helping us with our Investing in Volunteers accreditation, which is coming in January. It will be absolutely vital to helping us explore new ways to recognise volunteers as well. And we really just want to be able to design roles that are attractive and engaging. So if that's you, please bring yourself, and I'll be looking forward to working with you. And Nina has just put in the chat there, that is so good, as it's a way of finding out the barriers to volunteering exactly and how we can overcome them. That's right. Thanks, Nina. And then Siobhan has also popped in the chat, is there any in-person training for volunteers? It depends on the role, but again, we would make sure that we are very clear about if that is in person, and the student representative roles and the student leadership roles, they're more likely to be in person throughout the year. But again, your reasonable expenses would be covered for any in-person training that we would expect you to carry out for your role, and we would also make sure that it's I'm trying to say that training can be delivered in an accessible way as well. So the answer is sometimes. And we're going to head to the final slide. I just wanted to remind everybody about the graduation volunteer role, because Nina is right, it is one of the most exciting ones that you can join. Now, we're coming to the end of the graduation cycle. This role is in person. There are two levels of role available. One is the coordinator role, where you are responsible for the stall and the setup and things like that, and then the graduation volunteer role, where you are supporting the sales of Open SU merchandise so that we can raise funds for USET. So which is the help me, USET, Kira.
That's Danielle.
Sorry.
Go
on, Nicola.
The Open University Students Educational Trust.
Thank you, Nicola. I do know it. I've just returned after a very long mat leave, and my mind just went blank. Maternity leave. So as you'll see here, that we've got two final sessions of graduations that we are looking for volunteers to support in person. All training and reasonable expenses will be covered, but there are two. So there's one in Manchester and there's one in Poole as well. So have a look at those if you're interested in stepping into volunteering. This is a really great one to try, and it is different to the others because it's 1 day, and it's a fabulous opportunity to also see those who are graduating, and you can process as well if that's something you want to do. So that's that graduation role. I hope you have a look at it. And then the last slide, your volunteering journey. So I'm going to recommend that you start small in however you approach this. If you want to go for a long commitment role, go for it. That's entirely up to you. We welcome everybody, but it's always a good way to start small. Have a look around, see what might suit you. Have a look at the current opportunities. Have a look, is there anything that oh yeah, I'd like to do that, but I don't know about this. Book a one-to-one chat with me. I'm more than welcoming and more than open to doing that. It's 10 minutes or 15 minutes of your time just to find out a bit more about you and how we can help you enter volunteering. You can also tell me actually that you are more interested in doing something like X, Y, and Z. So I don't know unless you tell me, and I'm more than happy to help you enter volunteering. And I hope that we can. And then I think we are going to say any questions after this. So feel free to pop some questions in the chat. Ask any questions that you'd like on. If you can't raise your hand, just let us know by saying I'd like to ask a question by unmuting your mic. And there is no obligation to speak if you don't want to. However, everybody's most comfortable. Just feel free. Oh, thank you. I'm just reading the chat. So Robin has said thank you. It's been really helpful for getting started. Claire has asked, is the profile a generic OpenSU one, or is it a specific volunteering one that we need to set up? Great question. So you go on to the OpenSU website, which is oustudents.com, and you will be able to see at the top the volunteering section. That will take you to the landing page, and on that landing page it can offer you the profile setup for volunteering. If you are right, there are two profiles, one for the website generally, using that generally, but then there is one specific for volunteering. The difference between them is the volunteering one says I would like to get involved with these opportunities, and you can tell us what kind of opportunities you want to get involved with. I hope that answers the question. How can we see the slides and recording? So Kira will answer that question for us.
Hiya. Yeah, if you all have access, you should all have access to the chat since you've joined this even after the meeting has ended. And I'll be uploading the recording to YouTube as an unlisted video, and then I'll put the link in the chat, and I'll link Danielle's slides as well. But if any of you don't for any reason, I'll put in our email address and you can email and ask if you can't find the chat after you've left the meeting or something. You can email us and we'll send it to you. So I'll put that in the chat now.
Thanks, Kira. Siobhan said, for some reason the chat won't let me reply to people. Is there a phrase today? I'm not too sure about the setup of that. But I'm sorry that you haven't been able to reply directly to people. And then we're going to head to Parish. Parish has said thank you for today. Then Robin, by any chance does this meetup have a passport bingo secret word? Kira is going to answer that for us.
Yeah, I think that was what the previous student was asking as well. There isn't one for this session, so keep your eye out for others. I'll stick the links to the timetable for other Welcome Week sessions in the chat. And yeah, keep your eye out for those secret phrases, which we'll be putting in the chat box throughout the week.
That's so fun. I could have had so much fun with that if I'd known all of the secret phrases. Yeah. Nicola's just is gonna pop in as well to the chat and
Yeah.
unmute. Yeah,
Yeah.
please join us.
Yeah, just to say about the passport bingo. On the session, it will tell you on each session which one has a passport bingo. The first one is at the faculty representation session tomorrow. So yeah, just wanted to clear that up. We had this question
Thanks,
yesterday.
Nicola.
Well, we did have this question yesterday in the kickoff. So yeah.
Thanks, Nicola. I really appreciate that. Oh, Nina. Hi. Let's go to
Hello.
Nina. Hello, Nina.
Hello. Yes, that was all really, really good. I'm just wondering, what is a passport bingo secret word? That's new to me. And I'm just going to attend the session tomorrow. And if I've got to do something tricky, then I might not.
So
shaking her head, saying no, it's fine.
So I've just put details in the chat, Nina. So we've got a competition page on the Welcome Week site.
Right.
So it's a competition to try to get students to attend as many sessions as possible. And we've got like hidden phrases that we'll put in random sessions. And then if you collect one, you can enter and it'll just, so your name will be put into it one time, if you get what I mean. Whereas if you get 5, your name will be put in 5 times and you might be in with the chance of winning a prize.
There should be one tomorrow, so I should keep my eyes open.
Yes, there is.
Thank you.
Okay.
Love it. So yeah, make sure you check out the competition details and enjoy collecting stamps for your passport, I guess. We're coming up to the 2-minute mark now, so just want to let you know that we are here. We are open to talking to you about your volunteering opportunities. If you think there's nothing online, what is she talking about? Please don't be put off. Please contact us directly just to let us know what it is you would be interested in. We are always exploring new ways of working so that we can develop volunteering opportunities for you. And we are changing the future of volunteering, and we would really like you to get involved with that. Am I saying this right, Jovanka? Thank you very much for that emoji and keeping the emojis going throughout. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. So unless anyone has any other questions, we're going to wrap up. Okay. Thank you so much for spending your Sunday morning with me, and thank you again for your patience with the interrupted internet service. And thank you so much. That was really, really lovely. Thank you so much. Great to see you all, and I'll look forward to seeing you all getting involved with volunteering in some way, shape, or form in the future. So take care, everybody.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Great to see you all. Thank you so much for your time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.